Welcome to Soundscape, where we uncover the stories behind the songs that didn't just top the charts, but changed the way the world feels. Today, we're talking about a song that became the soundtrack of determination, discipline, and survival. This is the story of Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, and how one movie, Rocky III, turned it into the greatest motivational anthem of all time. By the early 1980s, the Rocky films had already become symbols of hope and resilience. Rocky Balboa wasn't just a boxer on the big screen. He was every underdog who refused to quit, every person who dared to dream bigger than their circumstances. He was the embodiment of the idea that with enough heart, you could go the distance. But as production for Rocky III was underway, Sylvester Stallone, the heart and soul behind the franchise, knew something was missing. The previous films had powerful moments, but this next chapter needed a new sound, a new pulse that matched the intensity of the fight ahead. It needed a song that felt like getting knocked down, tasting the canvas, and then finding the strength to stand back up, stronger than before. Stallone originally wanted to use another iconic track, Queen's Another One Bites the Dust. But when he couldn't secure the rights, fate intervened. He needed something fresh, something raw, something that screamed hunger. That's when he heard the music of a Chicago-based band called Survivor. Survivor was a talented rock group on the rise. They had skill, they had drive, but they hadn't yet broken through on a global scale. Stallone, deeply impressed by their sound on tracks like Poor Man's Son, felt he had found the right artist for the job. He didn't just send a request through a studio executive, he personally reached out. The story goes that he left a message on the band's answering machine, and at first, they thought it was a prank. But it was real. Stallone sent them a rough cut of the movie's opening montage and gave them a simple, yet powerful directive. He needed a song that captured hunger, focus, and a relentless, almost primal drive. He wanted a beat for the street. So Survivor's Jim Peterick and Frankie Sullivan got to work. They wrote Eye of the Tiger specifically for Rocky III, meticulously syncing the chord changes and drum hits to the punches Rocky throws in the film's opening sequence. And from that very first beat, that iconic pounding rhythm, you can feel the determination building. The lyrics weren't crafted to be poetic odes to romance or heartache. They were written for one purpose: survival. Rising up, back on the street, did my time, took my chances. It was a narrative of a champion who had lost his edge and needed to reclaim it. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of our rival. This wasn't just about boxing anymore. It was about life. It was about facing down any opponent, whether in a ring or within yourself. When Rocky III hit theaters in 1982, something magical happened. As the film opens and that unforgettable guitar riff tears through the speakers, the energy in the room completely shifts. You don't just watch Rocky train, you feel like you're training right alongside him. The music becomes pure, unfiltered motivation. The steady driving beat becomes a metronome for discipline, pushing you to do one more rep, to run one more mile. And that powerful chorus, the Eye of the Tiger, becomes a mantra of belief. It's the voice in your head telling you that you have what it takes. Audiences left theaters feeling energized, empowered, and profoundly inspired. The song was so potent that it quickly escaped the confines of the movie screen. It began to take on a life of its own. It became the definitive gym anthem, the soundtrack for countless workouts around the globe. It blasted through stadium speakers, becoming a sports anthem for teams on the verge of a historic comeback. It was the comeback anthem for anyone facing a personal or professional setback. Anywhere people needed an injection of strength, courage, or sheer willpower, this song followed. The commercial success of Eye of the Tiger was staggering. It rocketed to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed there for 6 consecutive weeks. It won a Grammy Award and was nominated for an Oscar. But its true impact goes far beyond charts and awards. Eye of the Tiger became more than just a song. It became a mindset. It represents the moment you decide to stop making excuses and start fighting for what you want. Decades later, its power hasn't faded one bit. It's still played at championship games right before the final play. It's played at graduation ceremonies as students step into a new chapter of life. And it's the go-to track for personal turning points, for those moments when you need to dig deep and find a strength you didn't know you had. The song proved, on a massive scale, that music doesn't just entertain us. It has the power to fundamentally empower us. It can change our mood, our outlook, and even our actions. At its core, Eye of the Tiger is about the universal human experience of resilience. It's about getting knocked down, hard. It's about that terrifying feeling of losing your edge, your fire, and watching a rival pass you by. But most importantly, it's about finding the courage to fight again, to get back in the ring even when you're bruised and beaten. The song reminds us that true strength isn't about winning every time or never falling. It's about showing up when it's hardest, looking your challenges straight in the eye, and refusing to back down. It's about rediscovering that hunger, that focus, that eye of the tiger that lies dormant within all of us, just waiting for a reason to be unleashed. So tell me, what does Eye of the Tiger mean to you? Was it a workout song that pushed you to a new personal best? A comeback song that got you through a tough time? Or the music that helped you face your biggest challenge? Share your story in the comments. We'd love to hear it. Like, subscribe, and welcome to Soundscape, where music meets meaning. And remember, sometimes, all it takes to move forward is pressing play.